You guys want to see my office? Check this out, right? Hold on, let me see if I can rotate this. Look how lazy I am as a real estate agent, right? So this is my office. It's my bed. So I've got a Bluetooth mouse, Bluetooth keyboard. Like my TV is like the computer monitor, and I've just literally been leasing people from my bed. Just like, look, that's Mighty Text, right? So that's one of the softwares I teach in the program. So I've got Mighty Text pulled up. I've just been texting clients and stuff, and then working from my bed, which is which is really interesting about being an apartment locator. Like, you can't really, do you see this setup? Like, you can't really do this as a realtor. You know what I mean? Like, truly from Wi-Fi and with cell phone reception, like, you can't really, how are you going to close a house? You know what I mean? Like, with through Wi-Fi. You can't even do this as a realtor. Like, there's lock boxes on the houses. You know, you have to, a lot of times your clients as a realtor, they want to sit down with someone with a suit, you know, and they want to come in for a meeting because they're buying a house. It's a really, really big investment, right? And so, you know, you can't, it's hard to just be like, hey, go buy this house for $500,000 while I chill on my bed. You can't really do that with normal realtor clients. But as an apartment locator, you can, because apartment locating is just so laid back. You know, it's not really a big deal, right? And so you can talk to people over the phone, send them out a list like I'm doing right now, and just do all of this from home. It's just so interesting, and it's crazy that no one talks about our industry. So I appreciate you guys hopping on the live. And we're back live. What is up, real estate duck hunters, apartment locating duck hunters? Tag friends. What does this button do? Tag friends. Oh, cool. I'm about to tag some people. I'm going to tag some of my students right now. Stephen Toole, tag. I just tagged you, Stephen. Christopher Campos. What's up, Christopher? I'm going to tag you too. Jamal Buster, tag you. I'm tagging all my students. Adrian Brown, tag. Nice. What's up, guys? Welcome back. We just took a little break for a second. We jumped on ManyChat, and then we blasted the notification to everyone that's on the list. So hopefully more people join the live right now. I'm actually using this tagging feature. It says tag friends on this live video. So I'm tagging all my students right now. I'm trying to get them on so that way they can ask a lot of questions, and then everybody can benefit. So David, MCC, I'm tagging you too. Alan, I'm tagging you. John Keenrath, I'm going to tag you too. Clyde Howard, I'm tagging all my paid students right now. Robert Quevedo, come on, brother. Shannon, you're getting tagged too. Brandon, you're getting tagged. Where are some other students? Zachary, I haven't talked to Zachary in a while. Zachary, you're getting tagged too. I'm just tagging everybody. Because I want some of my students to come on here and ask questions, right? Because they've invested in the program, so I know they're going to have good questions for you guys to learn off of. So let me just keep on tagging all of my students and see if they can come on and ask some questions so you guys can benefit for free, right? Denise Enriquez, you're getting shouted out. Reggie Moore, another one of my students. Let's see, should we tag my sister? Michelle, you're getting tagged. Awesome. All right, let's see. Damon Russell, Lauren, you're getting tagged. Awesome, guys. All right, so let's start. I'm going to wave at all you guys, too. What's up, Stool? What's up, man? How are you, sir? Damon Russell, what's going on? Manuel Barrera, how are you, sir? And David Clark is on, too. I just tagged all you guys. Thanks for hopping on the live. So it's Sunday again, right? So we're going to do a live Q&A. And so if you guys want to ask a bunch of questions, I am in a question answering mood. So hopefully I can bring some value into your lives right now. Hey, Pierre, I got an email from Trek about filing for unemployment. Do you think it's a good idea if you still have a few leases coming in? Yeah, that's a great question, Damon Russell. And they just passed another law, if you guys are updated with the news, on making unemployment, like the payouts larger than normal, right? So I think it's like over 22 million people have applied for unemployment. And I think before this year, the maximum was like what, 1 to 3 million ever, right, in history, right? So unemployment's just been going crazy because the rules are a lot different. So yeah, technically you don't even have to be unemployed to get it. As long as you're still employed, but your work hours have been reduced or your business is slowing down, you qualify. So when in doubt, Damon, just apply. Why not? The worst that can happen is they say, hey, you didn't qualify for much, or you don't qualify. So it's never against the rules just to apply. That's why it's called an application. So I would definitely encourage you to apply if you can make an argument. Just never lie on any forms. It's never good to lie in general. But as long as you're honest and you can make an argument for it, definitely worth it. All right, Ron. So my last question was just asking if EIDL applies to real estate agents. Oh yeah, that's right. So we answered that in the last video that we uploaded. So it does. The EIDL does. The Economic Injury Disaster Loan does qualify if you're a real estate agent because we're 1099, right? So I think one of the requirements was that you had to have 1099 someone else for your business. So like I was saying, if you've ever paid for like anything on Fiverr or graphic design or consulting, anything where you've 1099 someone, then you qualify for that loan as well. So honestly, man, I'd be applying for the unemployment right now, the EIDL, because it's almost like free money right now. So Steven, I think you've got a question here. I have about 6 months until renewal. That's cool, man. I'm at my first renewal. Oh, so you need the SAE, okay. I have to take my SAE. So the SAE, guys, is a sales agent apprentice, something like that, courses. Any recommendations for course providers? Yeah, man. Who did I go through, Steven? I went for the SAE, and it's like, I think is it 60 hours, Steven? I think it's like you got to do 3 20-hour courses, right? So it's much more rigorous the first time you're renewing your license, right? On top of like 10 or 18 hours of like the legal 1 and legal 2 update credits. Those are super easy, right? Like the 18 credits are super easy, but with SAE, you've got to do like 3 courses on top of that. So with mine, I did like the broker responsibility course, Steven, is really, really cool. So if you're doing SAE, I would highly recommend the broker responsibility course, right? You'll learn a lot from that course. As well, because we know as real estate agents, these renewal credits, they're not that helpful, right? But I did like the broker responsibility course. That one did teach me a lot. So look into that. As far as the providers on who sells it, I would just go for whatever's cheaper, to be honest. So like Champion School of Real Estate is good sometimes. The Real Estate Business School, I think, is the one I went through. You know what's funny, Steven? Like, I want to share this with you guys. So people have told me in my life I have a lot of good luck. But what's funny is if you go to these in Texas, right, they have or in Austin and a lot of other markets, I've noticed they have these like realty roundup events, right, where they invite all of the realtors from the town and they come into like the convection area, right, and then what they do is there's like drawings and you go around and you meet all the vendors, like new home vendors, everyone that's in the real estate industry. A lot of the times yearly there's like these gatherings, right? So in Austin they call it the realty roundup. But it's cool to go to these events because sometimes you can win free courses and free credit for like a year or for life, right? So it's really funny. I have this story where I think it was my second year as a real estate agent, as an apartment locator. And, my coworkers, everybody in the brokerage firm, we were going to together as a company go to the realty roundup is what they call it, right? And so, my friend at the time, he was a top producer as well, and he was doing very well. And I'm like, yo, let's go to the realty roundup, right? And he was so into his work. Like this guy, my buddy, he was really, really about closing leads and just working every day. And he didn't like to do social events that to him were a waste of time, right? So I'm like, let's go to the realty roundup, dude. It's going to be fun. We're going to meet people and network. And he's like, no, it's a waste of time. I'd rather lease people and make money. So I was like, all right, well, we'll go without you. So I went without him and I called him and I'm like, dude, we're having so much fun at the realty roundup. There's like free drinks and champagne and it's just, we're having a lot of fun. You should come. And he's like, dude, the only way that's worth it is if you get the free CE for life. And I was like, oh, you don't say, right? So everyone puts in their name. It's like thousands of realtors that put their name, like that you put your name into the drawing, and then someone wins the free CE for life, right? So I was walking around having a blast, like sad my friend couldn't come, right? And then all of a sudden they go, so the CE for life winner is Pierre Meggi. I'm like, are you serious, right? So I called him and I'm like, dude, I won the free CE for life. It was such a funny story. Because I was trying to get my friend to come out with me, and he's like, dude, that's a waste of your time unless you win this crazy thing. And I freaking won it, you know, like, what are the chances? So it's pretty cool, but you should go to the Realty Roundup, guys. That's the point of this story, right? You should go to the Realty Roundups because you can win free stuff like free CE for life. And it's, you know, why not? It's also fun. What's up, Lauren Hauge? Lauren Hauge is watching. I'm waving at you. Lauren is a 22-year-old blondie. I see you, Lauren. All right, Robert Caveda, I'm going to read your question, brother. How do you really get people that respond to your ads to really understand why we do and how the process works? I feel like most people, well, let me stop right there and answer because this is a long message. So your question, Robert, is how do you really get people understanding what the service is, right? So I do this with several points of contact is what I like to call it, okay? So the first point of contact is when the lead calls your phone, right? So there's two processes, right? If you're like how do I put this? If you're like an average locator that doesn't understand online marketing, which was me for 3 years, so it's not like an embarrassing thing, but if you don't understand online marketing and your leads are calling your cell phone, right, then that's the first point of contact is over the phone, and you're going over a guest card because the guest card pre-qualifies them, right, Robert? So when the first point of contact over the phone, you know, on top of getting through the guest card questions, I tell them, you know, how it works like they're 6 years old, right? So always it's always better to over explain than to not explain as much because then you waste your time, okay? So on the guest card, I go, you know, you read the guest card, hey, what's your name? What are you looking for? What area of the market? Awesome. Do you have any credit issues? Awesome. You know, are you a first-time renter? Whatever's on your guest card, you're going through it, right? But then I tell them, you know, awesome. Well, you know, this is how it works, right? We offer a totally free service to you. You know, like we match you with the 10 most relevant apartments. So that way it's a super awesome use of your time, okay? But we're only compensated if you write our name on the application fee. And if you're applying online, please select Locator or Realtor on the online app. So that way I get my credit. I like to call it credit instead of commission. So I don't like to use a word like commission, really, you know, because people think you're just like a salesperson. So when I tell people that I'm getting compensated, I either say I'm getting compensated or I like the word credit. Like, hey, I receive my credit, you know, when you list me on the application. So please list me so you get credited, right? So that's the first point of contact is telling them over the phone, okay? The second point of contact is the follow-up videos that I teach all of my students to do selfie style and save. So whenever you do follow-up, you know, you can throw a one-liner in there. You know, hey, did you apply anywhere and write my name down? You know, let us know, you know, if you need any other help. So you save that video selfie style. So when you use systems like Mighty Text, which is what's loaded on my computer right now because I've been locating from my bed, when you use Mighty Text, you attach the selfie video, and that's the second point of contact. Hey, what's up? You know, like, and you're doing the selfie video one time. So you're not doing this over and over again. You're setting it up one time forever and saving it, okay? So that's the second point of contact is your follow-up video response, okay? If you're going to save the video selfie style, keep it 20 seconds or under because, you know, iPhone to iPhone has the ability to send over, you can do a video text for much longer videos, but if you're sending it to an Android, a lot of the times the Androids don't have the capacity to like receive long videos over text. So that's why I try to keep it 15 seconds. Like, hey, what's up really quickly? Like, write my name down. Can I help you any further? Done. Okay, so that's the second point of contact. The third point of contact is your email templates, right? So I share email templates with all my students, but it like whenever you're sending the apartment lists, it'll send the email template that I share with you guys. And then so over email, it's explaining them how it works. This is how it works in Austin. We have access to every single apartment, but you have to write our name down so that way we get credit. Let us know if we can help you any further. Like, you know, your satisfactions are priority, whatever I share in the template, right? So the third point of contact, Robert, is the email template, okay? And so on top of those three major point of contacts, you're just reminding them when you follow up for the 3 days in advance. Okay, so you have to set these things. You have to set up these protocols correctly, or not. It's not gonna work that well, right? So the problem with a lot of locators and with me when I first started as a real estate agent, right? I was so lazy to set up these online systems. Okay, so I didn't have an email template. I didn't save a selfie video, and I didn't do that. Okay, my guest card, I was forgetting to remind them how the service worked because I would assume that they knew how it works. But don't ever assume that people know how your business works. It's always good to over explain, right? So for the first 3 years, I wasn't making a lot of money because I was like overlooking these simple tasks, right? Like the things I teach, like text expander, mighty text, shortcode snippets, email templates. I was like, I don't need all of that. I'm just going to call people. That's how you make less money. But when you set up all these things properly, it's like they're getting email, they're getting text reminded. You just told them on the guest card. Like, no one's going to forget to write your name down. And if they do, there's as long as you're doing everything you can, there's nothing you can do, right? Like, there's nothing more you can do. You just move on to the next client. But generally speaking, I lease people seamlessly, so a lot of the times they don't really forget. All right, let's read the next part of your question. I feel like most people don't understand our service, and when you tell them we get paid by the complex, they think that we are on a salary or something. How can we better customer retention and get them all the way to the point of signing our name? So yeah, I guess I just answered that already. But the point is to let them know that you only receive credit, if they list your name down and then contact you. So put that on all of the 3 points of contacts that I just walked you through. Selfie video, email, make sure to say it on the first conversation over the phone, and then you'll be fine. And then, at that point, Robert, if people are still forgetting and you're doing everything you can to have a high conversion rate, then it's not a problem with your system. It's just a problem with you got to market better and then just get more quantity of leads that come in, because you will make money with this business, right? You will make money. Look at what I'm doing right now. Like, that's my monitor. I'm at my bed. Here's my Bluetooth keyboard. Like, you can make money and lease people from home. Like, this isn't a scam. Like, I'm doing it right now, okay? So make sure your systems are all set up properly, and then you're gonna make money, right? And then if you're not making money, you just have to improve your marketing so that the quantity of leads come in, because you can get it done, right? And it's a great way to start as a real estate agent because you're building an awesome clientele. Every day I feel like I get busier and busier. How do you factor in working out while running your business? Oh, how do I factor in working out? That's funny, Ron. What's cool, man, is it goes back to the point on how you can do apartment locating, this sub niche within real estate, truly remotely from home, right? So, Ron, I don't really know a lot of other real estate jobs where you can do like from Wi-Fi without going into an office, right? That's why I'm so passionate about locating, okay? So for me, working out was tough. Like when I was a personal banker and when I was working as a personal banker, it was really hard to work out and stuff, right, Ron? Because it's like your schedule's like 9 to 5, really it's like 9 to 6, and then you got to drive there and drive back home. And so like by the time you're done with like your work day, it's like you're so exhausted just mentally sitting at an office and putting a suit on. It's really hard to work out, you know what I mean? So that's why it's cool to have a job, especially in real estate, where you can work like without going anywhere, like from home, because you can really start just increasing your whole workout game, man. So for me, apartment locating has been the solution because I can do it just as long as they have Wi-Fi. So at my gym, I go to like Lifetime Fitness, they have Wi-Fi. And so Ron, I can tell you another funny story, but I've literally closed 2 clients while I was working out at Lifetime because they have they have Wi-Fi, right? So I think I was doing bench press or something, and like on my breaks, people would call my cell phone and you just talk to them. Like the whole conversation's like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So when you're really good at apartment locating, you can lease people at the gym. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like wherever you are, you just pick up your phone. Hi, I just saw this apartment for rent. Oh, awesome. I'm an apartment locator. This is how it works. I'm going to make your search super efficient. And then I'm just going to send you over a list and I'll follow up with you tomorrow. How does that sound? That sounds great. So that's the whole business here. You're letting them know super fast. Yeah, I'm going to make this so much easier for you. Just trust me, work with me. It's going to be great. That's it, right? So I was doing that like in the middle of my bench press sets, right? And then these people would go expect a list, and then you hop on your smartphone, you go to whatever database you're using, and then you can literally send over a list on your smartphone, like on your phone. So I would just do a list like, all right, North Austin, he wants a 2-bedroom for $1,500, no more than that price. The square footage needs to be 1,000. Enter. Like the whole thing takes 1 minute, right? And then so it's like, okay, here are the lists, and then I would select the 10 options that paid a lot of commission, obviously, right? So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I typed in the person's email, boom, now they have the list. So I was literally doing that like at Lifetime Fitness, right? So that's how I can work out, not miss a workout, and then like locate apartments, because the business is simple and people really appreciate it, whether you're working out or not. So that's why that's how I can factor that in, Ron. Do you think management companies will be slow to pay on invoices if the trend in mass unemployment vacancies continues? So this is a great question, Damon, right? This really, really, truly depends on the business ethics and the practices of the building, right? And I mean that because, you can argue both sides of this, Damon. It's like, if business is slowing down and these buildings will need help from locators if their occupancy is dropping, okay? And so it's like, if they don't pay us on time, we're like, everyone's stressed out in this situation, right? Companies, landlords are stressed out, tenants are stressed out, brokers are stressed out. If we're referring you a business and they're like kind of pulling you around and like they're not paying you at the normal rate, they're gonna really upset us, right? And we're a critical partner to these buildings if they want to increase their occupancy rate, right? So some buildings will pay you right away, right? If anything, faster, because they need more business from you, right? Some of them, will do what you're concerned about. They're like, well, let's not pay the locator right away. Let's ask for another week or two, because the liquidity of the company is not that healthy, right? So what I assume is you'll probably see a lot of both things happening right now. But the buildings that truly respect the amount of business that we refer over to them, Damon, those should not be paying slower. So it'll be interesting to see how that question plays out. But either way, the business is still sound, and you can still refer tenants over to apartments and make money from home like I'm doing right now. So either way, there's money for everybody to be made. But I'm curious to see how that's going to play out, Damon. That's a great question. What's up, Zachary Wing? Thanks for hopping on, brother. Do you do one-on-one coaching? I do sometimes, Zachary. I'll sometimes do one-on-one. I've done one-on-one with who did I bring on? Ron and I did it once. Ron is a student of mine that signed up for the program. We did one-on-one training once, and then it was Dan. Me and Dan did it too. But the problem with the one-on-one is that it's respectfully, it's a lot of effort and a lot of time on my behalf. So it's like I have to charge, right? And I don't like charging people. Like, if you guys know me, I don't like charging people, right? Because it's in my interest to build an audience and build a following. I'm more interested in building a genuine following than trying to charge and make $100, $200 here and there. I don't really care about that. My biggest focus is building an audience. So I try not to offer services where I'm forced to charge money. So a lot of my students were reaching out at one point, and people from YouTube and companies actually that wanted me to run their sales funnels and market for them on Facebook. And it's like, I would have to charge you, and so then the problem is like, how much do I think my time is worth? $500 an hour, $100 an hour, I don't know, but I have to charge money if I'm gonna sit down with someone and block off my schedule. So I rather do these free live Q&As for you guys, because it's like I can help a lot of people at once and for free, right? So then that way you guys get value, everyone's happy with me, I'm not charging anything for free value, and it makes sense, okay? So that's why for the one-on-one, I mean, if you want to pay me $200 to $500 an hour, but I'd rather just not charge you and help you for free. But hey, Zachary, you want to come on live right now, brother? I'll put you on this live and I'll answer some questions for you for free. How does that sound? Instead of $500 an hour. So Yeah, just wait for Sunday, guys. Like, I'm not going to charge you guys 200 or 500 an hour for one-on-one training. Just wait till these Sundays and like I'll help you for free. Just hop on. I wonder if I can invite you guys to the live video. Like, you know what I mean? Like where it's like split screen and like let's see if we can do a split screen thing here. And Steven, I would love to get Steven on. So Steven, one of my students, he's on right now. Dude, your first lease was like freaking magical, man. So Steven, well, I don't want to tell his story. I want Steven to tell the story. But you got like a super awesome first lease, man, and then like what you converted him to another kind of client. That was freaking awesome, man. Bring him on a Oh, should we bring Ron Yates on live? Let's. Hey, are you on?
Hey, can you hear me?
How are you, sir? How are you,
Hey,
Ron?
what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for hopping on here.
No problem, no problem. Thanks for the invite on here.
There we go. Now I can see you.
Okay.
How are you, man?
Pretty good. How you doing? I'm chilling here with my girl.
Oh, hey. How are you? What's your girl's name?
It's Ellie.
Hey, what's up, Ellie? How are you?
Good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, man, how are you liking the program? Did you get through all of the course?
No, I didn't get through all the course, but there's a lot of value here, and I'll be honest with you. I spent a lot of time like just kind of like looking over some sections like over and over and over. Just there's a lot of content there, and I found myself kind of hung up on the like mainly like a lot of the Facebook ad stuff and the Craigslist auto poster. So just trying to really thoroughly digest that before I put any money into that. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I when I was making that, I realized that the Facebook would be more of a challenge. And so if you notice, like it's the second, like I do the paid module after the free organic. And did you notice how the organic there's way more videos on organic?
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I mean, honestly, with Craigslist, I mean, there's really no need to even spend any money anywhere else, like once you get your the auto poster set up.
Did
And
you
of
set it
course,
up did you set it up properly? Is it not flagging you?
uh honestly, I haven't set it up properly yet. Not with the
Okay.
auto poster. I just kind of like threw out manual ads so far, but not with the auto poster yet.
Yeah, I see. So the biggest struggle is if you walk through the tutorial, you'll set it up right, but it's the flagging will be your biggest frustration. So try to the only thing I would recommend, man, is when you set up the postings via my tutorials, just try to do everything I say perfectly right, because if you don't, then you'll get flagged, and when you get flagged, you got to like recycle your account, recycle your IP address.
Yeah.
It gets really really ugly. So it's like because if you've noticed, it's 3 videos and they're did you skim over those videos? They're pretty long.
Yeah, they're pretty long, and I actually made it through there, but I'm actually like rewatching them. So yeah.
Yeah, so just don't skip any code. The code is the biggest part because it'll throw everything off, and I don't want you to get flagged. So yeah, so that's one thing to look into. And then for Facebook ads, man, everyone has struggles with targeted Facebook ads, right? It's not just us. So it's like I would wait until you have at least 3,000 or more dollars set aside to like burn, because the whenever you do targeted Facebook ads or any kind of PPC,
Okay.
you need to think of it more of like an investment, right? So it's not like you're going to put in money and 100% get more money out. You're testing like your ad creative, you're testing your copy. I walked you through a few examples in the course just to get you going, but you really want to have money set aside so you're not you manage your expectations, right?
Yeah.
When you want to test a lot, the biggest part of the targeted Facebook ads is testing to see what works and pausing certain campaigns that are not working and scaling the ads that are working. So and when you set that up, then send me a message as well, and I can at least review, because I've been reviewing people's ads, like a couple of them, just to see if I know I can if I look at one or two of your ads that are set up, I can at least see if you're on the right track.
Okay. I appreciate that, Pierre, and
Yeah, man.
I really appreciate you bringing me on this one.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Did you have any other questions for me here live? You're welcome, man. All right. Later,
Okay.
brother. Well, that was fun. So hey, whoever's still on the live right now, thanks for joining. You guys are like my real followers, the ones that are still on right now. But whoever wants to hop on here, just send me a message and we'll bring you on, no doubt. Ronnie Ace, what was the easiest lease that you have ever gotten? That's a good question, man. So what's the easiest lease I've ever gotten? The easiest residential lease I've ever gotten was it was like an afternoon on a Saturday, right? And this couple, it was like a man and his wife, and I think they had like a couple small kids, but they were looking for a 3-bedroom townhome style apartment, right? I remember this because it was so crazy easy. But this client walks in and they had already picked out a 3-bedroom. Okay, so it was like in Round Rock. I think the building was called Regency at Del Ranch, like those townhomes, if you guys have ever leased them. But at the time, a few years ago, they were paying, 100%, 150% all the time on their townhomes. It's a property built in 2001. Okay, so they had locked down, they had known about this 3-bedroom townhome, right, Ron? And they kept it in mind. So they walked into my office to try to get other opinions on other leases that might be comparable, like before making a decision, right? People like options. So they sat down and I explained to them, we did a quick search on my database. We did 3-bedroom townhome, what they were looking for in their price range. And I couldn't find a deal that was better, right? So it took us like 5 minutes to go over the options and nothing was better than that deal. They got a really, really good deal that they had already picked out. So I couldn't really help him, right? So I was like, hey, listen, like, did you tour the apartment before? And he told me that they just saw it online and they actually didn't go to the property and they didn't actually go tour. So it was like a light bulb that went off in my head. And I was like, well, I kind of did some work for this client, like, scoping out the rest of the market. So it's like I had done work and I wanted to get compensated. So I was like, listen, sir, like, do you mind listing my name on your application? Like, can I come there with you to apply as your agent, as your representation? And he had no problem doing that because I spent some time with him looking at other options. So I made him feel really confident with his choice, right? But so he leased, wrote my name down, and they paid 150% of, like, I think his apartment was like $1,500. So it was like a $3,000 commission. And when you think about it, it's like this guy walked in already knowing where to lease. And like I did some minimal work just to make him feel confident for a couple minutes, and then we went. And it's like he told me where to lease him. That's the funny part, right? This guy came in and was like, "Lease me here," and we leased them there, and it was like $3,000. So that was the easiest lease that I've ever done. To answer that question, I'm gonna see if Steven wants to come on here. Let me drop a comment or something. One sec here. Sure. Awesome, man. Awesome. You're down to come on. Steven is down to come on the live chat. That's freaking awesome, man. I'm excited for you to tell them about your first lease. We're adding Steven. Let's see. Hey,
Dude, what's up?
how are you, sir?
Good.
That's awesome, man. Hey, it's good to finally meet you over the phone.
Yeah, you
First
too,
time.
man.
Yeah. Yeah, you got your earphones in? What's you listening to?
You right now.
Oh, duh. Sorry, I don't know why I asked that. That was freaking obvious. What's up, man? So hey, you had a really, really awesome first lease, man. It was
Right,
like
yeah.
you had leased them, and then can you tell that story if you don't mind live, because it's so cool. I'm like trying to contain my excitement.
Yeah, so the first one that I closed as an apartment locator wasn't actually my first apartment lease, and I'll kind of tell about that in a sec. But
Yeah,
the one that you and I have been talking about, I put
yeah,
my Facebook ads and let go ads out there,
cool.
and someone from Hawaii actually connected on one of my ads. They're moving to the Houston area, and
Hawaii,
so yeah.
that's
So
wild.
so they were looking in the Dallas area, and then I started helping them, and then like right before they were going to apply, they're like, "Hey, one of my buddies contacted us, told us we should move to Houston instead." And so it was
Oh
kind of
my,
like for me, because I was like,
yeah,
"Oh crap, DFW is my market." So
yeah,
I went on to Smart Locating, and I added the Houston market, because if I'm going to get a $1,500
yeah,
commission, paying the extra $40 is whatever.
yeah. It's
So
worth the $40. Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
So come to find out, he's actually starting like a small body shop / car dealership.
yeah.
And the second half is he's looking for like basically industrial commercial space that he can
Yeah.
use to build the body shop and lease property there. So he was like,
Wow.
hey, if you also, work with, leasing commercial properties,
Yeah.
I'd love help doing that as well. And
Yeah.
so
There's. Sorry.
that's what
Sorry.
kind
Go
of
ahead.
flipped into this. No, you're good. That's what kind of flipped into the second deal.
That's so cool, man. So like, there's tons of commission in the commercial side of leasing as well. Some
Sure.
agents do that full time. So
Right.
that's so cool. I'm happy you shared that story because it's like it shows people with locating and like the amount of effort, the work that it took you to lease that client. It's not terribly complicated, is it? Like now that you've done it before,
Oh,
like that.
oh no. And when you
Yeah.
when you were talking about like the easiest one that you've ever done,
Yeah.
I actually had one that was way easier. I
Yo,
had some
tell it.
people.
Tell it.
So I was working, doing single family housing, working for a management company, helping lease their properties.
Yeah.
And I had a friend that just moved into DFW. He was getting married, and he and his wife were looking for a place to stay. So I was like, okay, cool, single family houses, I can show them to you, right? And
Yeah.
so they were
Yeah.
looking around, and they were like, actually, we found this apartment up here that's, in Richardson, just north of DFW, and I think we're going to rent there. And I was like, I think someone told me one time that, I could collect commissions off of that or something.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, if you don't mind, can you just send me like your lease and your information, And I basically contacted the apartment, and I was like, hey, look, these were my clients. I know they forgot to put my name on the application, but I've been working with them for the last couple months, helping trying to
Yeah.
find stuff. And they
Oh.
were like, oh yeah, sure, we'll get you in there. And they rented that property at 1750, and it was 150% on
Oh,
the commission. So
that's
I,
the
so I got
best feeling,
my first
right?
my first apartment ever. It was a $2,500 check,
Dude,
and I
that's
had no
so
idea what
awesome.
apartment locating was.
Yeah, I swear,
So
it's
it
like
was crazy.
no one will. I feel like it's like a lot of people won't believe us, but it is truly easy to make 2-3 grand on the fly with
Right.
locating. It's a real deal. But that's
Yep.
so cool, man. Wow. So 1750 at 150%. That's wild. That's an awesome
Yeah.
commission.
Dude, and I'll tell you, like, for everybody else that's watching too, like, until I saw your YouTube videos, like, I really had no idea like what apartment locating could be. So I
Oh
appreciate,
wow.
you putting content out there. And then, I'm about a month and a half in as far as like going hard after apartment locating,
Cool.
and I've got, I think, eight prospects that I'm currently have lists to
Yeah.
that are probably going to apply in the next 2 weeks, right? So like I
Awesome.
went from nothing, a month and a half ago to like
Yeah.
I've got like 8 clients in the loop right now, and we're moving through it. So I really
Was it?
appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you so much for the kind words. Like
Yeah,
this means so much, and it spreads the message. And I'm like now I'm not the only one talking about this on live, right?
right.
So that's really really awesome, brother. I appreciate that. Hey, have you gone all the way through the course, or are you kind of still going through it?
So I've watched all of the videos once.
Oh, awesome,
I
awesome.
already started some of the Facebook and let go stuff.
Okay.
I think I still need to tweak some of my ads, but the next big one was moving into the Craigslist auto poster.
Yeah.
I just switched brokerages, and they have someone that works on the advertising side of things
Oh,
that
cool.
actually posts to Craigslist for us on our
Yeah.
own, our own Craigslist page, and they
Yeah.
only charge $25 per lease that you lease. So it was kind of cool,
Wow.
finding someone that's going to help with the advertising.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a smart idea, man. It's so because if you're at a brokerage firm, a lot of the times they'll have solutions for extra marketing. So you might as well piggyback on their marketing as
Right.
well on top of your own. So now it's like you're double dipping. That's really cool, man. I'm working with because I teach two of the Craigslist auto posters. The Craigslist auto poster will be tremendous when you set it up properly.
Right.
Trust me, it's going to be great. So when I'm trying to. It's very technical. So you know how I teach Ad Climber as like the second option.
Sure.
I'm trying to work with their team to like provide support for all of the students in our program right now too. So because they understand their software a lot better than I can translate it. So I'm trying to work with them to where they'll provide like free support for us. So I'm
Dude,
working on that right now. but it's going to be, I can't wait to hear your successes when you have, you know, all of the marketing set up
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
That's awesome. Thank you for your time, brother. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, super cool. Awesome. That was Stephen Toole, one of my students. He just killed it. So he got an awesome first lease and then a commercial client from the same lease, like, you know, with no lead gen because he converted his apartment locating client, closed them for $2,000, and then now he has a commercial client. Like, where else can you do that, right? I'm so happy you shared that story. It's like, where else can you do that with real estate, right? No lead gen. You're helping people lease an apartment for free. You're making $2,000, and now you have a commercial client that stemmed out of that with an awesome relationship, right? So it's not just about the money that there is to be made with apartment locating, but it's all about building these relationships with people, right? Because like you're helping them lease an apartment. No real estate agents doing that. Just look. I mean, don't take my word for it. Go to Google Trends. It's like there's like 4,000 apartment locators in the United States and 1.3 million active realtors, right? So the trick here is to, work as a locator, make 2 or 3 grand in commission, but now you're building a relationship with a real person that appreciates you, right? So now you can become their realtor or their commercial agent and so much other stuff that will stem off from just an apartment locating client relationship, and then it can just sprout into this awesome, beautiful thing, right? So if you lease 10 clients a month, at the end of the year, it's 120 clients and relationships built with real people, right? And so like, if you convert 5% of them, that want to buy a home after their contract, that's a giant amount of house closings as well, right? So this is just a fantastic way to get started in real estate is by being an apartment locator, at least initially, right? Make a great income and then continue on with your clientele. So let's see here. So whoever else is on, guys, I appreciate you guys staying for so long. I'm trying to get to know more of you guys. Clyde, you want to come on, brother? Zachary Wayne. What's up, Zachary Wayne? You want to hop on here, man? Someone hop on the live. Someone hop on the live because we're super bored. Just drop a comment below and let's just meet each other and say what's up. Oh, he asked a lot of awesome questions. Oh, Shannon's on. What's up, Shannon? How are you? Right, so we've had a couple of our students come on. Steven just told his story how he leased his one client. He leased them. It was a $1,500 commission, and then he got a commercial client relationship out of it. Right. So Steven just told the story. So if you guys are hopping on right now, you missed the 2 students that came on, but I'm gonna post this afterwards so you guys can see it again. What's up, Bailey? How are you? What's up, Shannon? So, hey, who wants to come on camera and just like come meet me, right? I'm trying to meet all of my followers and my students right now. So whoever wants to hop on and just say hi, that would be awesome. We might have just gone too long with this video. This is like over an hour long live. Amen. Who's got questions? I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of burnt out right now. We just answered a whole bunch of questions. And I showed you guys my office. Check this out, right? So you guys want to see my office again? Hold on. I can't flip the camera anymore. Check it out, guys. So that's the office. Look how professional. It's a freaking bed. It's a queen bed. There's a Bluetooth keyboard. It's a Bluetooth mouse. And then my TV is a computer monitor. It's like hooked up to my laptop. So yeah, that's the office right there. I've been leasing apartments remotely, literally right now. I think that's Mighty Text. Yeah, I got Mighty Text on the laptop, just texting clients and stuff. So it's been kind of boring, just working. There's not much else to do. Just working. So anyways, guys, hop on here. Who wants to hop on? So let's conclude this live, right? So what all did we talk about? We talked about EIDL, how if you're a realtor and you've ever 1099 someone, you can apply to the EIDL Small Business Administration loan, and a lot of it's like forgivable funds. We talked about like how unemployment's crazy right now, and like they're giving unemployment even if you're employed, as long as your hours are reduced. Oh, you're still on. That's cool, man. What's up, Ron Yates? You're still on here. What else did we talk about? We talked about what's going to go on with the apartment locating business in general with coronavirus, right? And landlords not being able to evict and rent forgiveness with the tenants, right? So what's going to happen? So the answer to that was, we're going to, I assume that the smartest thing to do is just look at the total occupancy rate, right, of a building. So if the total occupancy rate is on the decline, like if it's decreasing occupancy because of what's happening with coronavirus, then you know that as a locator, you can still refer tenants over to the building because the amount of money that we get paid as locators is in a direct relationship with the occupancy rate of the building, right? So if a building is at 50% occupancy, obviously they're going to pay 100% commission or more. But if the building's at 99% occupancy, you might see a 50% commission. It has to do with the occupancy rate, right? So if because of coronavirus, the occupancy rate's dropping, then you know that business is going to not just pick up for us and become easier. So we talked about a whole lot of stuff in this live. Let's see here. All right, I'm bringing Shannon on. Shannon, I don't know if you're comfortable with coming on. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm just gonna bring you on anyways. So I'm gonna hit add, Shannon. Just accept or deny right now. See if she hops on. Let's see if you hop on or not. Shannon's like, I'm not trying to hop on and talk to this guy. Hey, still here, but not presentable. No, Shannon's not presentable. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Laugh out loud. Let's try. I'm like this like creeper. I'm like sending you guys invites like without asking permission. That's how crazy I am. Chase, let's see. Who are we gonna creep on live? I'm trying to send you guys like live invites, right? All right. Who are we gonna creep on next? Chase Wilson, you're the next victim. We're gonna send you a request. You can deny if you want though. Hold on a sec here. So we can talk about online marketing. We can talk about apartment locating, how it's a great way to start. Let's see. We can talk about a lot about Facebook ads. Like I've had a lot of knowledge and a lot of luck with targeted Facebook ads. I can give you guys hacks too. I can give you guys tips on Facebook ads that I bet no one that you've never heard before, right? Let's see here. What is the average apartment locating conversion rate compared to? Oh, cool. Ron's got a question. So what is the average apartment locating conversion rate compared to like e-commerce or something? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so e-commerce, that's a good comparison, Ron, because obviously online marketing is going to be generally e-commerce based, right? Or a lot of the industry, right? Like if you have an e-commerce store, like obviously you're marketing online. That's what I meant. So with e-commerce, Ron, you'll notice, right? The rate of conversion is 1 to 3%. Okay, so let me explain this to you guys. It's very, very black and white, and this is an industry fact, right? It's not like an opinion. So if you have an e-commerce store, right? Let's say you have like a Shopify store and you're selling cat products or whatever the case is, right? It's e-commerce. Okay, so if you run ads, right? If you fund a bunch of Facebook ads or YouTube ads or Google ads, whatever, right? Out of all of the clicks that you're paying for, and out of all of the events, you should close at about a 1 to 3% conversion rate. Okay, so that means out of 100 people that you've paid for to click on your website, 1 to 3 of them should purchase your product, right? So that means out of 100 people, you should get 1 purchase or up to 3 purchases. All right. So let's dive a little bit deeper. If you're converting at 1%, you're doing something right. Okay, so if you're funding a ad spend and 100 people are visiting your website or your store and 1 person buys, you're doing something right. So it's good, right? It's just not great, but you're doing something right. A lot of the times, some people won't even convert at 1%, right? Because people don't like their company, they don't like their product, the marketing message is off. So if you're converting at 1%, that's good. If you're converting at 2%, it's better, right? Like that's considered really good conversion rate, is a 2% conversion rate, right? If you're converting at a 3% conversion rate, Ron, you're doing a great job. Like that's a fantastic job. If you're converting it, that's like industry standard, you're a leader, right? If you're converting at 3%. Now, if you're converting at anything more than 3%, like it's like you're like the messiah of conversions, right? Because like 3% is great, 2% is good, 1% is all right. Well, at least it's working for you. Most people don't even get to 1% conversion rate, right? So that's the industry standard. I just want to make it like abundantly clear what the conversion rate is for e-commerce, right? Now, the cool thing about apartment locating, right? Unlike a lot of businesses that are e-commerce based, and generally speaking, even if it isn't e-commerce, even if it's just like a service-based online business, like not necessarily e-commerce, your conversion is still 1 to 3%. That's almost like a really industry-wide standard with online marketing, right? But what's really, really cool about apartment locating, and I've been saying this over and over again, like on YouTube, on lives, I'm going to continue saying this to everyone, is that with apartment locating, the conversion rate with our leads is like 10 to 30%. So it's like 10 times better than other businesses, okay? So that means out of like all the leads that click on our website or on our ad that's like, hey, we'll help you rent an apartment in an easier way, click here. Out of all of those, you're closing like 10 to 30%. That conversion rate for most businesses and most e-commerce stores are impossible. Like, it's impossible to do that, right? But with apartment locating, it's possible. You can close at a 10 to 30% normally, right? I swear I've seen a 50% conversion rate on a campaign for apartment locating. And the reason I think the conversion rate for apartment locating is so unbelievably high is because if you think about it, what does every company do when they run online marketing ads, right? They sell something, right? You're doing an ad and you're selling something for money. With an apartment locating company, right, we're not actually charging our customers anything at all. We're just explaining to them how they should trust us and contact us because we're gonna work for them for free and get paid by the apartment building, right? So the fact that we don't have anything to sell like for a monetary price, and the fact that our service is free and we're just trying to make their lives easier, it's like we're solving a big problem, right? All successful companies in the world, one thing is true, right? There's a universal truth in all business, right? It's if you solve a problem, if you solve someone's problem as a business, you're going to be successful, right? That's how businesses are successful or not. Every business solves a problem. So with apartment locating, the problem is, oh no, I got to find an apartment and I don't understand the market rent or what the best deal is or if it's a good idea to move here or there. So we're solving the problem. It's like, hey, work with us. We're going to tell you what's the best for your needs and we're not going to charge you money. So the fact that we're in a business where we don't charge anything and we're helping them for free is huge. And I think that's why the conversion rate's so high, because it's like, why wouldn't someone want help if it's free, right? So that's why I think the conversion rate's unbelievably high with apartment locating. But those are the differences, right? It's like 10 to 30% normally, and it's not impossible to go up to a 50% conversion rate with apartment locating. It's crazy how awesome this business is, and basically. Yeah, no problem. Awesome. So that we're gonna just conclude it, right? So that was the last question. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. If you've stuck around this whole time, I really appreciate you. And we will see you next Sunday, right, on another live. And now that I know how to add people to the live videos, I hope to meet more of you guys next week when I bring you on live. Thank you so much, guys. Stay safe and healthy and take care. All right, guys. Bye-bye. This thing won't let me out of here. I'm clicking finish. Let me out of here. I guess you guys are stuck with me forever. Okay. All right, guys, I'm just gonna turn my phone off, I guess. I'll see you guys later.